Hi everyone, Kaylie Shapiro here with Nick, Zito, and Matthew. And the three of us are recapping the Saratoga Meet. Pretty sad to see it over, as I know you guys agree, but we had a pretty tremendous summer, the three of us together, and we just wanted to talk about our favorite parts of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many great memories, and really always ending on a high note. Those 2-year-old races, the spin away and the hopeful closing weekend, what could be for next year's Derby and Oaks Trail, Tommy Joe, Ted Noffey. So a lot of great memories though, and got to see some of Nick's runners and got to see Nick in the winner's circle too during this meet.
Well, it beats a blank. At least Charlie saved us. You know, we didn't run many horses, but at least we had the win. So that was always good. And, you know, we had a couple of seconds to thirds, whatever we did, which was great. And I was just so, you know, like everybody said, man, you look younger, and man, you look better, and man, you look this, you look that. So I got to think you two guys contributed to it. Maybe there's another factor, whatever, we'll see down the road. But the most important thing is you guys, you know, got my, like my friend Rod used to say, you know, hey, Rock, you got your, nickname me Rock, you know, I say, you got your step back. So it's cool. Somehow people were saying I got my step back. So I thank both of you for that. And I got to tell you, I'll start off with this one. I mean, look at the guests we've had.
Oh.
Look at the guests we've had. I mean, Bob Baffert, Shug McGaughey, Danny Gargan, Cherie DeVaux, Angel Cordero, Richie Migliori, on and on and on.
We had so many good guys. Who was your favorite? Not to pick favorites, but who was your favorite?
I'll be honest with you. For me, this sounds crazy what I'm about to tell you, because people won't believe it. You know, Baffert is like the movie star. Cherie is an up-and-coming female trainer, which I say, no, she's just a great trainer. She has nothing to do with, you know, being a female, but she is. But Shug McGaughey brings back to me an old flavor of how racing used to be. So he's just going to answer the question, and you know, he's going to be like good old, like, you know, whatever it is. But he brings so much to the game, the history of the Phipps family,
of course,
and the Travers family,
and that was really cool that Matthew did that interview. Yeah. Shug is Matthew's favorite trainer, so that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, so that was for me. I you know, I pick him, like, you know, Baffert's a movie star.
For me, it's Baffert. I can't lie. I mean, I grew up and all I heard in my house was Baffert this, even Los Alamitos. I knew what that track was when I was a kid because of Baffert.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
So that was a really cool moment to talk about American Pharaoh.
But I really, absolutely. But I think the whole guest that we had was like almost ingenious, as they say, because you know, your first year doing this, right?
Yeah.
And Bill's told us he was going to do it, but he got so busy. Bill Mott, he got so busy with everything, and we didn't want to bug him, you know. Yeah. But he said he would do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had so many people, and so many people we left out.
And I can't lie, I think my favorite one in second place was probably when we did our Travers preview, because, you know, it's all, I have to be careful with what I say sometimes, and my strong opinions on these horses, and if Nick says it, you know, Nick said it type of thing. But you took the words out of my mouth almost there. And
the hurricane.
The hurricane was coming, and Sovereignty. I think that was probably one of my highlights, and certainly watching Sovereignty win the Travers. I mean, what were your favorite races?
Yeah, I think, well, I'll just say my favorite interview, there are two great moments. One, when Shug told the story about Angel coming up to him in the paddock before Personal Ensign ran, and that Lucas was livid. Lucas was livid that Shug was going to run a rabbit. And so Shug goes, you want me to scratch him? I'll scratch her. And so he scratched the horse, and then he goes, don't I look like a smart son of a gun when Personal Ensign 10 lengths behind, you know? And so...
It still got up to win.
That's
what I'm saying. He brought the charm and the history together of what the track used to be like.
Yeah.
And look, Mike McCauley has it. The one thing that I will stick up from, yes, rabbits have killed me. One of the horses I had was commentator. I had a rabbit many years ago with horse called Strike to Go. But that horse Loach that I used as a rabbit got me the nose in the Carter, a grade 1 race. So he was a good horse. I think what Mike said, that I love what he said, look, run a rabbit or just run straight. He's absolutely right about that. So whatever happened, and even Kendrick, geez, run straight. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to come over. You come over, the first turn.
He was trying to get a jump on the
I'll tell you,
rabbit. Don't
I
you
had a
think?
horse had a really great shot beating Curlin called Wondering Boy. The overnight came out and went, he had post 8. And I know going into the first turn it was 8 out of 8, Matthew.
Yeah.
And he might have had a shot to beat Curlin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Curlin was Curlin.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, racing, you got what you got. It's a woulda, coulda, shoulda deal.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, but
Yeah.
that's true about that was fascinating.
That was
You're
a
right.
great
I
story.
never knew about Cadillac, and we questioned him on
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, I scratched the horse. He won anyway.
Yeah,
so.
won anyway.
That was cool.
But no, in terms of the races this year, I mean, I think you have to look at Travers Day. I don't want to take the words out of your mouth, although you might say sovereignty. What Thorpedo Anna did in the Personal Ensign with Dorth Vader, that stretch run was as good a stretch run as you're gonna see. And that was a true heart of a champion coming down to the wire, and a horse that just dug in, made the first move, was up on the pace. Everybody else who was on the pace finished last and second to last. She dug in, she showed the heart of a champion. She showed that she is maybe not the same as she was as a 3-year-old, but man, she's more mature, she's even better.
Who
I have
knows?
so much respect for her and the way Kenny got her ready for that race. Yeah,
Well,
that was huge.
I completely agree. She got in 100. I mean, that's what she got in the distaff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
who knows? I mean, after the Travers last year definitely took a bit out of her, but how amazing is it that we got to see her win up here again in Saratoga
Yeah, that was special.
after, a little bit of a difficult winter that she
Yeah,
had in the
yeah.
fall. And the other day we went out to Kenny McPeak's barn, and he had
Yeah.
a crowd of people there that he opened to the public to see Thorpedo Anna.
Very
Now
nice.
Matthew and I were stopping in and seeing her, here and there in the summer throughout. How do you not, take advantage of that
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
of her being here? But he opened it up to the public, and there were lots of little kids there, and their faces when they got to pet Thorpedo Anna and they had their hat on for her and feed her a mint.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
To me, that might have been my favorite, one
Yeah.
of my favorite parts of the summer.
yeah. Nick, did you have a memorable race from this summer in terms of the Travers, the Gold Cup, the Jim Dandy, the Whitney?
I'm smiling because I think a lot of people saw my expression, but the Uncle Charlie race that I had, my own horse. So a lot of people said, "Man, I saw you in the paddock going crazy on, Lane Luzzy." I said, "Look, I just told him, man, tell the stewards what happened, And they were cracking up, all the fans here.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember, you guys were with me.
Yeah.
After the win, that was like incredible. All these fans were so happy, and,
Oh,
that
my
we
God.
won,
Yeah.
and this and that. And he said, I saw you talking to him. I saw
Yeah.
you. Well, I have nothing to do with the stewards, but it was obvious. But that's the thing with the great Ortiz boys, especially, NYRA. They don't care. It's business. It's riding. And I told Lane, look, you want to be like these guys. You better get to the spots that they get to. And, we had one incident with Vagano. He was second. He could have been a winner, too.
Yeah, close. Yeah.
Jose, Vagano broke good, but Jose broke with him. Boom, he went right over. And like his dad said, he almost straight clipped heels. He almost dropped him. Well,
But he didn't.
he didn't. And more importantly, he went there. He got there first.
Yeah.
Certainly we had the best horse. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But in Uncle Charlie's race, he looked like he was a winner, all through the race.
He's
you
a
know.
beautiful horse.
But he was a
Uncle
winner.
Charlie.
And the thing about it is, that's something that if you look at it, Lane could have come off.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord he didn't come off. He
Yeah.
hit him hard enough.
Yeah.
But so for me, that's a memorable race. But have I watched the main great races? Yeah, but Saratoga, just about every big race was great.
Yeah.
And
Of
Ted
course.
Noffey yesterday.
Yeah,
that
he
was awesome.
I'm mad at myself with that. That was like an idiotic thing. I thought he'd be favorite, the horse,
Me too.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah.
Jesus, he's a tremendous yearling. It doesn't look. The horses don't know what they cost, ladies and gentlemen. But however, when you pay $700,000, I believe,
Yeah.
and you see him, he looked like a $700,000.
Beautiful
Yeah.
horse. When you saw the way that the
yeah,
connections were in the
and,
paddock.
and Ned Tuff,
No
he's
doubt
a
he
nice
was
fellow.
winning.
He's the Spendthrift man. He's been with Mr. The master of Spendthrift, Mr. Wayne Hughes, since when you started.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful that he had a horse named after him. Most people that have a horse named after them can't outrun a fat man. Can't outrun a fat man. However, you know, they lucked out.
Yeah,
They did luck out.
They-
That horse.
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for what
did.
his future could hold. And Tommy Joe.
Well, I was just
Yeah.
going to say, but on the undercard of those big days, you better be betting on Uncle Charlie because
Yeah,
Uncle
yeah,
Charlie
yeah.
has one on Florida Derby Day,
Yeah.
Preakness Day,
Yeah.
Alabama Day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's I don't know, Champagne Day, if
Whatever
it's
it is, yeah.
whatever the
Yeah,
next
whatever
big day
it
is,
is, yeah, we'll be
Uncle
happy.
Charlie's going to be race
3 for
6.
3.
Yeah,
three
so
for
you
three.
better bet Uncle Charlie if it's a big day.
Yeah, he's a
And
winner.
you
know.
brought up the Ortiz brothers
Yeah.
prior, not to jump to a complete different
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we never really did a video about the Jockey Club Gold Cup, like,
Oh, yeah.
recapping or anything. I just want to say, like, what a miracle it is that
Yeah.
IRAD's cleared.
no question.
Yeah.
That was
Thank God.
That was one of the scarier
miracle.
moments.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what's great. You know,
Yeah.
we have so many stories, and a lot of all of them are true. I hate to say it on the racetrack, which is great. But their dad worked for me for a little while. The Ortiz boys' dad, great mother and father, tremendous. The dad's tremendous, and he loves both his sons. I'm so happy for that family. Incredible mother and father. So he worked for you. You know, when I was at Belmont, I had some more horses I had, but he worked for me. Just a super guy, and they're great kids. Both of them, I like them both.
Yeah.
And incredibly talented. Irad wins another riding title, 59 wins for the meet.
Yeah.
Jose finishes second.
Yeah.
And I think that was so great, for me at least, to see Jose come up here because Jose moved his tack to Kentucky this past year. And he started partnering with Cherie DeVaux a lot,
Yeah.
down at Fairgrounds, down at in
Yeah.
Keeneland and in Churchill. And it was great to see Jose come back up here to New York and not just run, but run really well, ride really well. And to see the Ortiz brothers do that. And
100%.
honestly, I mean, what we witnessed in the stretch there and the first time by in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, I mean, Edgar Zayas as well, who was on White Abario trying to hold Irad up. Irad's trying to hold him up.
Yeah.
They're both on White Abario at one point. Irad's trying to get back onto Mind Frame. I mean, it was, like you said, thank God everybody's okay. That's the
for
most
me-
important thing. The horses are okay. He's okay. That's the most important thing. But that was one of the most spectacular. Has too positive of a connotation, but it was one of the most spectacular things you could see in terms of like just jaw dropping in some ways.
Absolutely, and
But-
happy for Aquarian, obviously, who got the win, but
Yeah.
not trying to take away from that. But Sierra Leone ran the best race that day. That
Well,
horse,
I mean,
that
he-
horse
he-
was,
yeah.
taken completely out of the race in the
Yeah.
beginning. Pratt actually looks back at Irad.
Yeah.
He's standing up on the horse, going down the backside.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he loses by a nose. He
Yeah.
almost caught into
Yeah.
Aquarian.
Here he comes
and he
8
went
wide,
over a
you know.
human being on
Yeah.
the track.
Yeah. No,
Sierra
it was-
Leone is a monster horse.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the one sad thing? But maybe I don't want to put a dimmer on this race, because thank God everybody was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me, but I don't know if I would have took a chance and picked Irad up. I
Yeah.
know the other. Okay, then let everybody out there. You're correct. Then what are you trying to say? Spit it out. What I'm trying to say is, for real safety, the outrider should have said pull up,
No contest.
no
Yeah.
contest, because, God, you pick the guy up, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
put him in the ambulance. Who knows if he got something broken or something or whatever he's got.
Yeah.
But look, as we say, not to put a damper on it,
Yeah.
thank the Lord, he's okay.
Yeah.
The horse was okay, I believe. Everybody's okay.
Yeah.
And-
And credit to the outriders
Yeah,
and to the
yeah,
emergency
everybody.
staff who got out there so fast. I mean,
Absolutely.
Jeremiah Englehart, who's a trainer, was running out there onto the track to help as well. And the reports were that Irad basically told them, "Get me off the track,"
Oh,
and
good.
he was the one who kind of said,
Okay,
"Get me
good.
off
Oh,
here."
good.
And so, because he knew what was at stake and he understood, hey, they got to finish this race. They got to get me off this
Well,
track.
good. Well, see, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, yeah.
If he said
What a
get me off the
I
track.
mean, obviously,
He's
he's
a consummate
but,
professional.
Like, geez,
Yeah.
like,
and then he's right down there the next day in the winner's circle getting the riding
was
trophy
awesome
from
to see.
our good friend Angel Cordero.
No question.
So, the King of Saratoga.
That's
So
right.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Amazing summer. Can't wait.
yeah.
Breeders' Cup. We'll do a big build up for that. Can't wait
Absolutely.
for that.
No, that'll be
Juvenile, and not to mention, another horse I want to call out, a 2-year-old. that we saw in Nick Peak's barn the other day, Universe, and that brings me to another point. First of all, that's a really serious 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Second of all, Chris Elliott won on that horse
love
on
that
debut.
kid. Yeah, I love Chris Elliott.
I mean,
He
that
is.
was something I took note of this summer. He's an amazing jockey.
No question.
Yes.
You know, I took a liking to him. It took me forever to call him Chris because I had the connection with the Birdstone with his dad.
Yes.
And I kept calling him Stu. I kept calling him Stu. So I never called him Chris in the morning. And he worked a lot of horses for me. I said, this kid is good. This kid is good. And, as usual, you're punching the ticket instead of looking sometimes, And this was a real killer. What was it? The next to last day. I go, oh, no. I'm looking at this Brooklyn dance, right?
Yeah.
Brooklyn dance.
Yeah.
I'm born in a place called Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Which now the homes are $9 billion. When we were there, they were like nothing, as a kid. But Elliot was on that horse. All I had to do, because I liked the one, he was second.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, there was an inquiry. I said, what's the difference? They would have took me down because last year I had this incredible super was paying a fortune. And they take me down because it was the 4th or 5th finishers. In Canada, 4th or 5th finishers. What the hell? And I was going to get like, thousands and thousands. I couldn't wait to run to that, what's that famous bar they got now? This, what do you call it right out here? It's near the Shake Shack. That bar.
The Post.
The
Post.
Post.
Oh, the Post, yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't wait to say, hey, drinks for everybody. But nope. I looked up and there's beep, the blinking lights.
That's
Oh, I did
don't bring
hey,
it
I
up.
did
I'm going
see-
to talk about Zulu Kingdom.
Well, I
gotta
did.
move on.
Yeah, I did see something funny. It's not funny, but I got to tell the folks because this show is different. Our show is different, everybody. So I'm watching. There's an inquiry the other day.
Yeah.
I swear it was so scary. So there's the lights are blinking, and this poor guy's looking at. I guess he had, whatever he had, and this guy had a few beers or whatever he had. He's got it in his hand, and he yells out, "Take him down!" And this poor guy goes, "Ah." He's shaking. The poor guy's shaking. I seen the whole thing. I go, holy shit! But they left it up. He goes by and he goes, "Take him down!" And the guys go, but they left it up. Thank God.
Well, I just
all's
cannot-
well in
That's Saratoga. You
Yeah.
can't, it's
Yeah.
like.
It's so entertaining.
It's so
here
entertaining,
too when you
yeah,
walk around
exactly.
and watch
Yeah.
people walk.
Which I
the
love to
races.
do.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I love
that's
to do it.
that's the
I
other
got
thing.
to watch a few in the backyard. I mean,
Yeah,
that was like my favorite.
And I was going to say, Kaylie, one of the things that was really special about this year is, and I just want to say thank you to all the people. I know this has happened to you, Nick, and you, Kaylie, as well. All the people that came up to us and said, I love your videos. I love the podcast. I love the content you guys are doing on NYRA Bets. Like that, trust me, that means a lot. And I know when you and I are running around the track on a day, we might not have time to talk to every single person as much as we would like, but
Well, you're more
trust
famous
me,
than me.
I don't know
think
about
you have a lot more
that,
people
but
that come
but
up.
but it means a lot when people come up and say that, and even if they come up to me, they'll always mention you. They'll always mention Nick. So that meant a lot. All the fans coming by and saying thank you and how much they appreciate it. We appreciate you guys all tuning in and always checking out all our content on NYRA Bets.
I think that wraps it. I mean, what an amazing summer.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.